I'm Ashley Dickson, coming to you from the top of the Crossroads building. Thanks for joining us. Silverton finally joins the 21st century with the arrival of fiber optics in town. Steampunk Snowdown gears up for the 2015 celebration with the annual kickoff party, and Durango merchant Michael Thunder introduces you to the sublime art of brewing tea, all in this edition of Inside Durango News.
You're watching Inside Durango News, Durango's only televised news magazine, covering local news and features, business updates, sports, arts, and entertainment, and up-to-date minute weather forecasts for the greater Durango area. Featuring news anchor Ashley Dickson, Moni Grushkin on business, and Jordan Alexander with sports. This week's top stories are brought to you by the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. It's America's railroad.
I'm Ashley Dickson, coming to you from the top of the Crossroads building in downtown Durango. Thanks for joining us. 50 years ago, President Lyndon B. Johnson signed an act into law that's helped preserve millions of pristine acres of country, including right here in southwest Colorado. Adopted in 1964, the Wilderness Act originally preserved 9.1 million acres. Today it protects nearly 110 million acres across 44 states. In southwest Colorado, the San Juan National Forest manages 3 wilderness areas, including the Weminuche, South San Juan, and Lizard Head wilderness areas. The Weminuche is the largest of the 3. It was designated wilderness in 1975 and expanded in 1980 to include nearly 500,000 acres, an area 3/4 of the size of Rhode Island. Jeremy Garnkars, Senior Director for the Wilderness Society, says the 50th anniversary of the Wilderness Act is a good time to reflect on what the Act has accomplished and what still needs to be done.
This is a great time to reflect on what we've done, but what we need to do moving forward. And I think in this day and age, our country has become more divided, I think, than ever before. And the one thing that has united us over time and will, I believe, continue to unite us is our public lands, our wilderness areas, our national parks. These define us as a country. They define us as a people. And it really is a great opportunity for us to put aside our ideological differences and work towards, a better future, and one that we've all been able to afford, and we hope others will be able to in the future.
Garnkar says there are several threats to the county's wilderness areas. Chief among them are climate change, responsible outdoor vehicle use, and a critical component to La Plata County's economy, oil and gas development. While oil and gas development does pose potential risks to the national wilderness areas, Garnkar acknowledges that it's important to the county's future.
What we want to see is development done the right way in the right places, and leave the places that are absolutely critical to our heritage, to our fish and wildlife, to our hunting and fishing opportunities. Leave those most important places as is. And let's develop, we need to develop some on our public lands. We know that. So let's do it in the right places, and let's do it in the right way.
Locally, you can get involved in the 50th anniversary of the Wilderness Act. Several area organizations are hosting a free wilderness walk and family fun fair on Saturday, September 27th. The event runs from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the La Plata County Fairgrounds. At the event, there'll be a 2-mile walk down the Animas River Trail, educational demonstrations including primitive tool use, wilderness river camp setup lessons, and Dutch oven cooking. There will also be music from the San Juan String Band, so for more information, you can visit wilderness50th.org. Next, Silverton joins the 21st century.
Silverton residents plan to throw a party on October 9th to celebrate the arrival of the 21st century. And no, the historic mining town did not get stuck in a time warp. Rather, residents plan to celebrate the arrival of a $3.4 million fiber optic link that will provide high-speed access to the internet. Silverton residents have waited nearly 15 years for the promised link and have spent hundreds of volunteer hours lobbying the Public Utilities Commission, their state representatives, even the governor, in an effort to get access to a modern-day telecommunications distribution system. It all started in the late 90s, when Quest Communications won a $37 million state contract to connect every county seat in Colorado with high-speed fiber optics networks. Quest built the network and provided every county in Colorado with a fiber optic network, except Silverton. They stopped construction at the San Juan and La Plata County line at Cascade, just 16 miles short of Silverton. That was in 2003. In 2010, Silverton filed a complaint with the Public Utilities Commission against the state of Colorado and Quest, demanding that the fiber optics network be completed. The commission ruled in Quest's favor. Quest said it had provided adequate high-speed service through the town's microwave radio system. Town members have argued that the microwave system is spotty at best, inaccessible at its worst. Local Silverton business owner Gina Rosado says that the lack of bandwidth has hindered the Chamber of Commerce's ability to market to visitors and just try to make a phone call on the 4th of July. It's impossible. But now, a new statewide consortium of public and private organizations called EagleNet has come to the rescue. EagleNet received a $100 million grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce, and it will use those funds to connect school districts and other anchor institutions throughout Colorado. The Silverton School District is expected to be connected this fall. Once the fiber optic network makes its way over the mountain passes into town, to the library, town and county governments will connect to the school district. The in-town network is already in place. It was installed as part of the SCAN project, which grants from the Southwest Colorado Council of Government and the Region 9 Economic Development District. Silverton's long wait for fiber optics is just about over, and residents say arrival represents new opportunities for economic development, particularly when it comes to attracting telecommuters who can work from anywhere as long as they have a high-speed internet connection. Up next, the weather with Scotty Smith.
I'm Scotty Smith with this week's weather trivia. The first full day of autumn is Tuesday, September 23rd, and that means the first frost is just around the corner. Find out when you should start covering your tomato plants to protect them from a freeze later in this broadcast. First, you're up to the minute weather forecast.
Inside Durango's top news stories have been brought to you by the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. It's America's train.
Hop on board the Peanuts Great Pumpkin Patch Express at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. There's fun for the whole family with live musical entertainment, a costume contest, hay wagon rides, games, a pumpkin patch maze, and the chance to meet Snoopy, Lucy, and Charlie Brown. This great fall event runs for 2 weekends, so get your tickets today. Trains depart the Durango Depot at 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. Call the depot or visit durangotrain.com for details and reservations.
We have a long list of values here at Durango Motor Company, but guest satisfaction will always carry the most weight.
Our best price philosophy was brought to create more of a relaxed shopping experience for our guests because they are our #1 concern.
Taking great care of our guests is the best way to build a lasting relationship, and that's what we do at Durango Motor Company.
Whether you're buying a car that's $4,000 or $70,000, our main concern is making sure we find you a car that best fits your wants and your needs.
The secret to savoring the delicious Moscow Mule is to serve it in a copper mug. Here at Urban Market, we know everyone likes to show some style while cocktailing, so our copper mugs come in a variety of shapes and sizes. The recipe is simple: half a lime, 2 ounces of vodka, and 4 to 6 ounces of ginger beer. Sit back and relax. With your copper Moscow Mule mug, you'll be looking good and feeling good.
This portion of local news has been brought to you by Alpine Bank. Locally owned, locally operated. Alpine Bank.
You're watching Inside Durango News. I'm Ashley Dickson, coming to you from the top of the Crossroads building in downtown Durango. Students who want to learn more about music now have an alternative. I Am Music recently opened its doors, and the group will host a fundraiser September 27th to raise money for scholarships.
Tell me about what's I Am Music.
So I Am Music is a community-based music education program.
Our mission is, yes, to instill traditional music values, but also give kids the tools they need to make music now, make music today, and go out and play in a band. So we're really trying to make a complete musician to really foster people's passions.
First goal is to teach you how to play music. Second goal is to teach you how to do something with that music, how to create, how to write, how to be someone. Be yourself with it.
There, I swear to be good to you. Our community outreach programs right now are Denier, the ROP Youth Services Center. We're doing their music program once a week. We are working with Animas High, Big Picture High School, and St. Columba.
It's important for kids to love music because it impacts everything that they do. You know, you hear on the news all the time that kids who are involved in music do better in school, they're more focused, they just lead more successful lives, and it's true, but there's also just an undeniable passion that kids develop for music at a young age that you can't really quantify, and it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't have it, but it's something that I feel like is just something you can't replace.
We feel fantastic about offering these services in any way that we can. We have scholarship funds available for students who don't have the, enough funds to pay the normal lesson rate. We have a music instrument lending library, which we offer as a free service. Becoming a federal approved nonprofit is fantastic because it allows us to accept donations, and also it allows us to give tax-deductible write-offs for instrument donations.
Our approach is different. It's not traditional. You're not learning piano from the ground up. We're kind of identifying what the student wants to learn and then tweaking their lesson to make it fun, and then sneaking in all of the music theory and the technical side.
We're really excited for our first fundraiser coming up. We're excited to add to our endowment so we can put more and more money into our scholarship funds and get more instruments to lend. So our event is called I Am Music Playing for Change. It's September 27th at the Strader Theater. We're going to have 7 different local musicians in playing with us.
If people want to get in touch, we're iammusic.us. We're also on Facebook, and yeah, all of our information is there.
If you'd like to know more about the September 27th musical event, I Am Playing for Change, visit I Am Music website at iammusic.us. Cooler fall weather signals the onset of winter, and with winter comes Snowdown. More than 50 Snowdown fans dressed in science fiction Victoriana gathered for the official Snowdown kickoff and unveiling of the 2015 Snowdown poster on September 12th at the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum. This year's Steampunk Snowdown theme already is proving to be popular with Snowdown fans. Organizers said the kickoff was one of the biggest in years. Steampunk arises from the 19th century science fiction that featured steam-powered machinery. Modern-day interpretations include movies like Wild Wild West or League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Durango artist Kevin Dawson captured steampunk Durango style in this year's poster, which features a flying dance hall girl and, of course, the train. This year's celebration will be January 28th through February 1st. Snowdown seeks volunteers for the 2015 event, so for more information visit the Snowdown website at snowdown.org. Before there was steampunk, there were cowboys and pioneers, and 2 pioneer families will be honored during the annual Durango Poetry Gathering Parade on Saturday, October 4th in downtown Durango. Francis Hodder, 91, and Lawrence Hunter, 96, are this year's parade marshals. Both their families have been working land in La Plata County since the 1800s. Parade organizer Pam Jacobs said the parade is going to be bigger and better than ever, with music, marching bands, horseless carriages, and plenty of cowboys and cowgirls riding beautiful horses. The parade kicks off at 10 a.m. with a gunfight in front of the Strader Hotel. There's still plenty of time to enter, and entry is free, says Jacobs. Deadline is 9:30 a.m. before the parade, but she does encourage early registration. If you'd like to join Durango's Cowboy Gathering, learn more at durangocowboygathering.org. For the past 15 years, you've been paying a half-cent sales tax on purchases within the Durango city limits to pay for the Community Recreation Center and improvements to the Animas River Trail. Now the city of Durango wants to know if you'll be extending that tax for another 20 years. The city has posted an online survey about the issue on its new virtual City Hall website, and more than 100 area residents have already responded. 39% have said that they would vote yes to extend the sales tax, and most want to see the money used to complete the Animas River Trail and add more pedestrian and bicycle facilities to the city system. Voters approved the half-cent sales tax in 1999 to build and maintain the recreation center and to develop 7.5 miles of the Animas River Trail from Dalabetta Park to Escalante Bridge north to the Animas City Park at 32nd Street. The tax sunsets in 2019, and the $14 million recreation center debt will be paid in full. The city plans to ask voters to reauthorize the tax until 2039, and it hopes to submit the question to voters next year. The survey asked citizens if they think the city has done a good job spending the existing sales tax. 42% of respondents said yes. It also asks how future revenues should be used. Options on the survey exclude expanding the trail system, new cultural and arts facilities, or recreation facilities at Lake Nighthorse, among others. If you'd like to weigh in on the issue, the survey will be open through midnight on October 15th. Just log on to durangogov.com and click on the Virtual City Hall button on the homepage. Up next, local sports with Jordan Alexander.
Thanks, Ashley. This portion of local news has been brought to you by Alpine Bank. Locally owned, locally operated. Alpine Bank.
Candace Jeep has a busy schedule. She runs an audiology practice in Durango. It's not easy running your own business. That's why she chooses to bank at Alpine Bank. Being able to make business deposits without stepping out of the office saves time. And she loves how the Alpine Bank mobile app makes it easy to keep track of personal finances from anywhere, giving Candace the freedom to focus on what really matters. Alpine Bank in downtown Durango and Three Springs. Welcome and come in. Open the door to the craftsmanship of home building at the Durango Area Parade of Homes, September 26th through 28th. Tour beautiful and unique homes and make Friday evening a date night with the Homes Under the Stars party. This year's event includes special events like the Kids Lego Building Contest, a container gardening contest, and a poker run. There's something for everyone at the Parade of Homes this year. Make September 26th through 28th a weekend to come in, look around, and celebrate some of the most elegant homes in Durango.
And the 26th annual Durango Cowboy Poetry Gathering celebrates her life with art exhibits, grand parade, cowboy music, cowboy poetry, and presentations with real local ranch women.
This week's sports news from Durango and further afield is brought to you by Mercy Regional Medical Center. Inspiring health.
I'm Jordan Alexander, here with your sports news. Let's start big and work our way closer to home. Spanish cyclist Alberto Contador won the Villeta a España cycling tour this weekend with not the fastest time in the final stage, but it was plenty to secure victory over second place British rider Chris Froome. Sunday's final stage was marred by wet conditions that saw Contador drop 27 seconds to Froome, but the margin remained too wide and Contador recorded his third Villeta title of his career. Contador's final time for the gargantuan multi-stage race was 81 hours, 25 minutes and 5 seconds. The Spa-Tinkoff Saxo rider finished 1 minute and 10 seconds in front of Froome, with Alejandro Valverde a further 40 seconds behind Froome. Contador's victory resonates even more as only 2 months ago he broke his leg in a crash that pulled him out of the Tour de France. Furthermore, second place Froome broke his hand and wrist in the Tour de France also. I think it's safe to say their recovery went pretty well. In Skyhawk news, both FLC football and volleyball had impressive weekends, with wins over Oklahoma Panhandle State University and American International University of Kingsville, Texas. Jordan Doyle earned himself the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Offensive Player of the Week award and led Hawk football to a gigantic comeback. Down by 21 points at the half, Doyle guided his team to a huge 45-38 win with 2 touchdown passes combining for 100 yards between them and scored 2 touchdowns of his own from a 17-yard run and a 33-yarder. After 5 minutes into the game, the Skyhawks were down by 14 points, but coach John L. Smith's experience at the Division I level came through when it was needed and come back in spectacular fashion. What a way to come back from last week's loss. FLC football are on the road again this week for their start of conference play versus Black Hills State University. Full radio commentary will be available at radiodurango.com. Sophomore libero Ali Gilcheco led the Skyhawks with 20 digs and 2 aces on Saturday to overcome American International University. Fort Lewis overcame the Texas team in 4 sets and moves the Lady Hawks to 3 wins and 5 losses for the start of the season. Stephanie Sonka led the Fort in attacking stats with 11 kills and .429 hit percentage at the net. Senior setter Sierra Krenner assisted on 20 out of the Skyhawks' 43 kills. Overall, on 129 attempts, FLC committed only 18 errors, which head coach Kelly Rivlato will hope continues into conference play, which starts with a triple header at home in Whalum Gymnasium this weekend. So make sure you get up to Fort Lewis to see that one. Moving to the high school level, and Durango High School's boys tennis team celebrated a fantastic weekend at the Delta Invitational on Saturday. Overall, the team finished third out of the 8-team tournament. Fred Edwards saw gold as he took the #1 singles championship with a cool 6-0, 6-1 win over opposition from Vail Mountain. The #3 singles champion was Elijah Kalinowski. He dug in deep for the long haul, beating his opponent 6-3, 3-6, 6-3. After that slugfest, the #2 doubles pairing of Will Downs and Mika Huang beat Montezuma Cortez with a consistent score of 6-4, 6-4 for third place. And last but not least, Jake Beekman and Eamon Ledger Svensson beat Fruiter's JV doubles team for the #4 doubles championship. The match lasted 3 sets, with the score ending 5-7, 6-2, 6-3. THS's first home match of the season is against Grand Junction this Saturday, so get down to the Demons Courts on the north side of the high school. And that's it for this sports news this week. And now, as summer is officially comes to a close, I'm going to leave you with a little montage we made of some summer river action fun with Drew Fisher from Surf for San Juans. What a summer, now let the reminiscing begin.
This week's sports news from Durango and further afield is brought to you by Mercy Regional Medical Center, inspiring health.
Hello, I'm Kurt Gerlach with Blue Ribbon Properties, and I know why you're here in Durango. After you enjoy all the great activities available in this area, you'll need a home to come home and relax in. So call or email me. I'm a buyer's agent. I've been here over 30 years and I know this town. I will represent you in purchasing the place that you will call home. Thank you.
If you love Durango, grab this edition of Durango Magazine today. Explore Durango's vibrant art scene and a nearby city that disappeared. Discover what's happening on the Animas River and what Durango families do for fun with their kids. Dining guide and Durango's dream homes too. Captivating stories, award-winning design, and stunning local photography. Durango Magazine, serving people who love Durango since 1986. By mail, your hotel room, free racks all around town, and at Magpie's newsstand.
Welcome to the Irish Embassy Pub Durango. We import the majority of our products straight from Emerald Isle, and let's get it right. You want your Guinness directly imported from Dublin. You want it stored at precisely the right temperature. And you want the pour to be a matter of taste and science. You want a pull with the patience and precision that it deserves. And if that wasn't authentic enough, you want to enjoy it in a pub where the shelves are stocked with 24 different kinds of Irish whiskey. Yes, you want the true Irish experience. Come visit us at the Irish Embassy Pub Durango.
Everyone's on a budget, and we have several programs that are available that will meet those needs so that it does fit within your budget.
We're family here. They like the way they're treated. They like the way we present the numbers. There is nothing under question. They know exactly what they're getting. The quality of the Honda is number one. You want to get into a car that you know you can depend on for years and years, and it's not going to break down. It's going to be what it's presented to be.
Next, the business update, brought to you by the First Southwest Bank and the La Plata County Economic Alliance.
I'm Moni Grushkin with your business news, coming to you from the Crossroads Building in downtown Durango. It's not unusual to see cattle grazing next to gas wells in the La Plata County countryside. Now, one county landowner is farming the sun for energy with the help of about 30 investors. La Plata County's first ever community solar garden is now generating enough power for 40 houses. 680 solar panels that generate 300 watts of power each are feeding into the La Plata Electric Association power grid. The garden is just off of County Road 316 on 23 acres owned by Roger Dale of Ignacio. Roger raises cattle, honeybees, poultry, and vegetables. His home is powered by his own solar system, so he readily said yes when John Shaw, owner of Shaw Solar, asked if he could build a solar garden on his land.
It's a beautiful thing. It's progress. It's moving forward in the direction that we all need to go, and so we wanted to show our support and be maybe a leader in the community as far as supporting the solar cause with John Shaw Solar.
Here's how it works. Homeowners buy a share in the solar garden and receive credit for the power their share generates on their electric bill. Homeowners do not have to be connected to the actual solar grid. The solar garden is an alternative for homeowners who don't have good sun exposure for their own solar panels. Shaw credits La Plata Electric's Progressive Board for making the solar garden possible.
Yeah, just wanted to say this is a pretty unique program that LPA approved last year. That there aren't many places in the country where you can have solar panels that are not on an actual building, producing the power for an actual building. So this is the future of solar, and LPA was pretty amazing to approve a policy like this and they basically approved the policy and then allowed private developers to build projects like this that we could find bankable and sell however we wanted to sell so that we can make the projects work.
30 members have invested so far in Shaw's Community Solar Garden. Shaw has another 10 memberships available. The solar garden costs $650,000 to build, Shaw said. The electricity generated will pay off the initial investment in 6 years. The solar garden has a life of 25 to 40 years, he added. If you'd like to invest in the community solar garden, visit Shaw's website at shawsolar.com. When it comes to horses, no two are alike. So when it comes to training horses, Archuleta horseman Pat Parelli believes that training the horse's owner is just as important as training the horse. Parelli has turned his natural horsemanship philosophy into an international business, and Inside Durango TV visited his training center outside of Pagosa Springs during a recent workshop to find out why his methods are so popular.
This member event we do once a year, and we had the first summit in 1997. It's an international members event, so we have people here from Ireland, from Australia. We've got several people from Europe and even a couple from South Africa. So a lot of people travel from all over the world to see Parelli's Mecca.
I came here from Mena, Arkansas, and it took me about 18 hours to get here.
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I drove here with another classmate from the extern program. His name's Nick and he's from South Africa.
This is probably one of our biggest events of the year in terms of sales as well as attendance.
We've got lots of vendors, our Parelli partners, and sponsors.
This is kind of like a home gathering for everybody that's really inspired and is really a truly dedicated student.
I think it's the most fun event here for most of the employees. We get volunteers in from the worldwide. We meet the students that we have, the instructors worldwide again. It's kind of everybody meets up. It's like a big family reunion.
I'm here for 3 months for the externship to become a Parelli instructor. And I brought my whole family with me, my 2 kids and my husband and my dog from Switzerland.
I'm here for the 2014 externship, and my goal is to become a professional Parelli instructor at the end of this course.
We have 3 main offices. We've got here in Pagosa Springs, also in the UK, and one in Australia. And so they all have staffing, and we ship from each warehouse as well as have representatives there, and then instructors again out from there.
I discovered discovered Parelli at the World Equestrian Games in 2010 at Lexington, Kentucky. I remember Ryan Rose came out and Pat came out and they were doing bareback and bridleless riding, backing up, sideways, cantering, stopping, and I was just jaw open and I was speechless. So I decided right then that that's what I wanted to do.
I became a Parelli member because I wanted to have access to all the knowledge and to the tools and to all the support we get.
The discounts that we members get are phenomenal. Number one, because there's no better equipment on the face of the planet. Nobody else makes equipment as good as what Parelli does. And number two, I have access to the learning library, so if I've got a question for my own personal horsemanship, or if I need to direct a student that is long distance away, I can direct them to the library.
Basically, the relationships are the most important thing that I've gotten from the membership.
Well, I think the benefit of having this event really pulls people together.
It's a fun weekend for everybody.
For more information about Parelli Natural Horsemanship, visit their website at parelli.com. Now we have Roger Zelneritis in with us today for his monthly report from the La Plata County Economic Development Alliance.
Good afternoon, Moni.
Good afternoon, Roger. I understand you have something very special for us today.
I have a quiz for you.
You do. That's what I was worried about.
You know, I'm being taped. I don't get to get taped up here. This is a nice spot.
It is. We are at the top of the Crossroads Patio Outdoor Gardens.
I'm jealous.
Well, am I going to be nervous about this quiz?
Yeah, I'm hoping you fail now.
You know, I have test anxiety.
Yeah. So I've been giving this presentation to the County of Economic Development 101. Talked to the County Planning Department, and yesterday we presented to the public about it. And we ended the presentation by talking about a lot of stats about the La Plata County economy. So I thought I'd come here.
Interesting stuff.
It is for some of us, right?
I know.
You know, so I thought I'd come here and ask you a few questions today about the La Plata County economy to see if you pass or not.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Like I said, I take the fifth. I have test anxiety and I'm not reading the newspaper these days. So,
all right, well, it's not geometry if that's any consolation.
No, that's not going to help. Okay, hit me.
First question.
Yes.
I've got 5 companies listed here.
Okay.
Which 2 of these companies were founded, they were started here in La Plata County?
Which 2?
Okay, so yeah, which 2 of these 5? The 5 are Stone Age water blast tools, Mercury Payment Systems, Soundtracks, Osprey, or United Pipeline. And I should say, sorry, Southwest Colorado.
Southwest Colorado. Okay, so audience, a little help here. Can I have a lifeline?
Anybody?
No?
Anybody?
Okay.
All right.
How about Stone Age and Mercury Payment Systems?
It's close, but it's a trick question.
It was a trick question.
Yeah, it's just Stone Age. The other 4 of them all moved here at some point or another.
But you asked me for 2.
Yeah, I know, it was a trick question.
Oh gosh, all right.
So
Bill,
good.
You're number 1. Here we go.
That should calm me down. There's no more trick questions, okay?
Okay.
So,
actually, I like the trick questions because then I don't look stupid.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
So, all right, so a couple more. Over the last 10 years, which type of company provided the most new jobs in La Plata County? Large companies, like 100 or more employees, mid-sized companies, maybe 10 to 100 employees, or small companies, startups, 5 employees, folks like that?
I'm going to say the mid-size.
Close, small, actually.
Small.
Remember, since 2000, almost 90% of our jobs have been created by either self-employed or small businesses. As a matter of fact, the average size of a company in La Plata County is 5 employees.
Wow, actually that's pretty exciting news. So I'm happy that I got that wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of small companies and self-proprietors, which brings us to a next question.
All right.
So if you think about 1% as being the top 1%, 100% means that we're at the bottom of the scale. For La Plata County, where do we rank in terms of self-employed people? Are we like the top of the country, top 1%, top 5%, or are we at the bottom 50%, 75%, somewhere around there?
So does self-employed mean that those small companies, the 1 to 10 employees, are
self-employed or works from home?
Works from home, but do they have employees?
No employees.
No employees. How about we're in the top 75%?
Well, yeah, we're in the top, but it's the top 2%.
So, like
of all the counties in the country, we have more people working from home than all but about 1% of the rest of the counties in the United States.
Okay, that's kind of what I meant.
Okay, all right. Okay,
so I was thinking 75 to 100, you know, the higher you are, the better.
Right, so yes, then you were pretty close.
I had the concept right, I just had the numbers wrong.
Yep, so
right.
that we have a lot of people working from home out here. So one more question for you, and then I'll be done, I swear.
Okay, let's see.
When you think of the real property, that means residential properties, commercial properties, things like that. What percentage of our property in La Plata County is owned by people or businesses that don't live here?
1.
Ha.
Did I get it?
I wish Durango
Oh,
probably wished that.
shoot.
38%.
38,
So
okay.
almost 40% of our properties are owned by people or businesses that don't live in La Plata County. And in Durango, I understand about 50% of the residential properties are non-residents.
Wow. You know,
So-
I'm an optimist. That's why I went with the 1%.
All right, well, it
'Cause
was
I'm
good.
hoping that if you own here,
You were
live
thinking of
here.
the 1%. I know.
I was.
Yeah,
No.
So,
So, anything else you want to share with us about that, Roger?
yeah, it's
that
probably
was, that was
yeah.
actually kind of fun.
Well, yeah, the audience is probably wondering right now why does any of this stuff matter? So I just wanted to kind of talk for a little bit about why some of these statistics matter and why you need to focus on this stuff if you're an economic developer or you care about the economy here in Durango and La Plata County. There's really three reasons. One, if you look at trends and compare what we look like to other regions, you can understand whether our economy is performing well, is performing average, or is performing below average.
Right.
So that's important to know, is how you stack up.
And how do we
compared to-
stack up right now?
we stack up pretty good, but I think not as well as we assume. Like I think our sales tax grew by about 6% last year,
Okay.
but nationally sales tax grew about over 5.5%. So yeah, we're above average, but not really far above average.
But some people would say the economy is a lot more sluggish than they would have expected at this stage of the game.
That's the second point that you bring up for stats.
So does that mean I won one?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So the second point is either to help people have stats that agree with what people think or to counter what people think.
Okay.
So one thing that people think out here a lot is our economy is very dependent on how things are going in Denver, and that the stats back that up and say that's true. We are very dependent on how things go in Denver. But another way is I hear a lot that you can't move a business out here and succeed. But I know from the data that you can move a business out here and succeed. And so that brings up the third point, which is also you want to understand what your economy is doing so that you can make the priorities match what your economy is about.
Okay.
So we mentioned the people that work from home. That means internet's really important to homes.
Absolutely.
That probably means air service is important too, so people can get out and meet their clients or go back to the corporate headquarters when they need to fly back. So those are three major reasons why you want to keep track of the stats.
And we do have a new director out at the airport, and
We
we've
do.
got
He's
some
been here
plans
for about a year
on the agenda for expansion, so
That's
that should
right.
be exciting in the future.
Exactly.
Awesome.
You got that one right.
All right.
All right.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate you being here. We
Thank
look
you,
forward to
Moni.
your next update.
All right.
Up next, a man shows us how to brew the perfect cup of tea.
The business update has been brought to you by First Southwest Bank and the La Plata County Economic Alliance.
Probably about 8 years ago, when Jason first got into home brewing, we started talking about opening up a brewery and what it would mean in different locations, and we just put it on the back burner so we could do our other careers. And then probably 2 years ago, we really decided to open up the brewery, and we knew that Pagosa was the spot.
When we were putting together the business plan for Riff Raff Brewing Company, we were looking at the need for a lot of capital to fund all the systems and equipment that we needed to make craft beer. And we knew that it would be challenging to find a partner. From an experience of going through a really difficult process of getting capital together, banking is a difficult place to get money for a business like this. We felt like the entire way First Southwest Bank really not only held our hand and shepherded us through the process, but they also embraced our business and tried to understand the model. And we are not quite a restaurant, but we're not quite a packaging brewery. And First Southwest did a really good job of trying to learn how to bridge that gap and present the data to the SBA so that we could go forward, secure the loan, and do it as quickly as possible with as few roadblocks. Would we recommend First Southwest Bank for aspiring entrepreneurs? Yeah, darn tootin'.
Southwest Colorado Lifestyles with Ashley Dickson is sponsored by the Wells Group.
Thanks for watching Inside Durango News. I'm Ashley Dickson, coming to you from the Crossroads building in downtown Durango. Michael Thunder is not just a tea expert, he's a tea fanatic. So much so that he opened the White Dragon Tea Room on Main Avenue. News producer Debbie Urota recently visited with Michael to learn more about the world of tea.
Hi, I'm Deborah Uroda from Inside Durango TV, and I'm here at the White Dragon Tea Room with Michael Thunder. Thank you for joining us today, Michael. So you are an expert on tea. How did you become an expert on tea?
By drinking it for several years, and my grandmother, I used to make tea for my grandmother when I was 4. We'd have these elaborate tea parties. She was French-Canadian, so we drank big British teas.
So tell us about what we're going to do today.
Okay, well, I'd like to give you a sense of loose leaf tea.
Okay.
And the way it tastes, the way one prepares it, the range. And the most important thing to remember is that your taste is what determines what a good tea is for you. So somebody else will say, yeah, oh, I just love this, and you say, well, I don't like it so well. Everybody has a right to their authority under what tea they're going to drink. And since we specialize in loose leaf teas, I thought I would start with a tea bag. So this is a tea bag. It's from a very good German company. So it's at the top of the heap. It was expensive. But I want you to notice what that looks like. You know, and it has a scent to it. I think you can still smell it. It smells like fruit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
a little bit.
A little bit, not a lot of strong fragrance.
Pretty faded. And the tea, in order to be accessible through the bag fiber, has to be all chopped up. This tea is just this bud, this leaf bud.
Just that.
Right. So a lot of times it's 2 leaves in a bud is what they'll pick in the better teas.
So that's about as fresh as you can get.
It is, and the women have to some of the women that pick this for certain tea gardens are flown in by helicopter. They're famous because they can get in there quickly and do a field, say the size of this room, and you get one or two grocery bags. Just imagine trying to get down in there and pick just this. This is called the bud, but it's not the bud of a flower, it's a leaf bud. These are 2 leaves that have started to open, and everything depends upon the way this is harvested, whether it's before the rains, after the rains. You know, in India, they can have a really great harvest after what they call after the rains come in the fall, like in August, September. When the monsoons come, the tea will be renewed. Whereas in China and Japan, they try and favor the first picks before the rain picks because they're richer in all the ingredients that tea possesses. So I just wanted you to notice, which one would you rather drink?
This looks like I want to put it in a stew.
Yeah, it's like alive. It is like an herb, something you could do in that way, but it has a little aliveness to it. You know? Tea started in a place called Pu'er, China. That's where they first started using the leaves of the tea bushes, probably 2,000 years ago, and it was medicinal. The tea plant has always had a reputation for being good for you.
What is this beautiful stone table with a little hole in it?
Right, well there's a big jar down underneath here, so all the mistakes or anything that you want to make a mess with, it gets done on this table. It's called a Kung Fu table. Not Kung Fu, but Kung Fu. Well, first of all, I was introduced to this kind of tea brewing in Chinatown and also at the World Tea Expo. It's called Kung Fu style, it's Chinese. So I designed this table. This is soapstone. There's a bit of a trough here that kind of directs the water down toward this hole, goes in the jug, and the jug is cleaned. So I had it designed. A local iron fellow made the base for me, and we use this almost exclusively for our brewing or our steeping of tea. So I'm doing it over here so I can make a mess if I need to. Okay, this is Kung Fu style, white tea. See how you like that.
Oh,
look at the color.
Yeah, it's a little more yellow. That is so delicate.
People like that because it makes them feel high. You know, I don't know exactly why, because it doesn't have a lot of caffeine, but it makes you feel real high up here in the head.
What are we having next?
We're going to go to green. Green is oxidized more than white. This is a real famous green. It's called Dragon Well, and you can tell that.
That smells more like dried hay. I notice you're just putting it directly into the cup.
Yeah, this is a Gaiwan. This is a Chinese vessel. It's actually used with this table a lot. This and the little pot that we started out with are used with this kind of a table. So I wanted to give you an example of different ways to do this.
All of these are very subtly different, and it's been so much fun tasting each one of these. So, Michael, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for this beautiful display of teas. Now, if someone wanted to come here and experience this themselves, a little tea tasting, what should they do?
Well, Our hours are 10 to 6, and on Sunday I think they're 12 to 5 for winter.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Deborah Urota with Inside Durango TV, coming to you from the White Dragon Tea Room at 820 Main Avenue. You have a website?
I do.
And what is that?
What is the website? WhiteDragonTea.com, and we also have a blog called tdurango.com. But anyways, Michael Thunder, it's been a deep pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
To speak with about tea.
All right, thank you.
Well, it's safe to say I'll never look at tea the same way again. The White Dragon Tea Room is located at 820 Main Avenue in Durango. It imports its tea from China, India, Nepal, and Japan. Learn more at whitedragontea.com. Every 67 seconds, someone in the United States develops Alzheimer's disease, a malady characterized by memory loss, dementia, and more. More than 5 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease, and of that number, 200,000 are under the age of 65. That's the case with Durango resident and longtime marathoner Stan Raby, who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2012 at the age of 63. Raby is well known in the community. He taught math at Miller Middle School, was the girls and boys basketball coach, and later moved to Durango High School as a counselor. He founded and organized DHS Abroad, a program that took students and teachers to Europe for a semester of travel and learning on location. Raby was an avid cyclist and runner. He raced in the Iron Horse Bicycle Classic for many years and ran a total of 45 marathons in 10 years. He now lives at the Cottonwood Inn Extended Care Center. On Saturday, September 13th, dozens of Stan's friends gathered at Cottonwood to participate in the annual Walk and Run for Alzheimer's and to raise money for local educational and support programs. The event was sponsored by Backcountry Experience. Owner Ben Rackus has a mother living with Alzheimer's disease. The event attracted more than nearly 350 registrants, with nearly 200 actual participants. More than 40 businesses donated to the event. The walk-run raised more than $15,000 for local Alzheimer's education and support programs. If you'd like to learn more about Alzheimer's, visit alz.org. Up next, when can we expect the first freeze in Durango? Scotty Smith has the answer. Then stay tuned with arts and entertainment news with Ted Holteen.
Fall begins in southwest Colorado at 8:29 p.m. on Monday, September 22nd, and that means the first frost is just around the corner. In southwest Colorado, the first frost can occur anytime between August 4th to November 7th, depending on your location and elevation. According to the National Climatic Data Center, the Fort Lewis Weather Station in Hesperus records the earliest light frost in the county around September 7th. A light frost is about 32 degrees, and the temperature hasn't dropped that low yet this month. But with every passing day, the probability for a freeze increases. There's a 50% chance of a light freeze by September 19th. That's next week, so you may want to be prepared to cover your tomatoes and your summer squashes. The probability of a freeze increases to 80% by the end of this month, with a 90% chance of a freeze occurring by October 2nd. The last frost can occur as late as July 3rd. That doesn't leave much time for the growing season in the southwest Colorado. The first frost-free growing season is about 55 days, and that's quickly coming to an end. Now, for your up-to-the-minute weather forecast.
Southwest Colorado Lifestyles with Ashley Dickson is sponsored by the Wells Group.
This is the story of a company that has its roots in southwest Colorado. A story about two college friends who founded a local business, of their families and the families of their staff, and of generations to come. It's about the concerns we hold, the passions we share, and the bonds that unite us. We're the Wells Group, and for 3 decades, we've been proud to be a part of the Southwest Colorado community. Save the date for the 2014 Durango Area Parade of Homes, September 26th through 28th. This year's event includes a Home Under the Stars evening, fabulous prize packages, a poker run, and more. Don't miss Durango's premier homeownership event.
First National Bank of Durango, committed to our community since 1882, where our friendly bankers help you achieve your financial goals.
We put you first.
Stop by one of our 5 locations or visit us online at fnbdurango.com.
The Durango Holiday Inn would like to invite you to the Sporting News Grill for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Featuring a full-service restaurant and bar with 11 HD TVs, it's a great venue for family and sports fanatics alike. The Sporting News Grill. Stop in and let us show you our game face.
This portion of Arts and Entertainment with Ted Holting is brought to you by the Strader Hotel.
Hi, Ted Holting back here at the Durango Arts Center, where we seem to find ourselves quite often, and there's a good reason for that. It's usually because there's so much going on here at the Durango Arts Center. And this time around, it is a festival that is now 20 years old, September 20th and 21st, the 20th annual Durango Autumn Arts Festival here on East 2nd Avenue. And I am happy to be joined by Festival Director Jules Masterjohn. Hello, Jules.
Hello, Ted.
All right. Well, tell us a little bit about what we're going to see this year. I know there's somewhere more than 80 artists. Again, there's music. And take it away. Why should people come out here next weekend?
Well, first of all, the street's going to be transformed. You will be able to walk down the center of 2nd Avenue and not risk life and limb because there will be no cars. The street's closed off to cars for the entire weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We have 85 artists and craftspeople coming who will have booths set up on 2nd Avenue between College and 9th, and they'll be sharing with the community their painting, drawing, ceramics, sculpture, woodworking, wearable fiber, oh my gosh, so many things. I'm sure I forgot something really important.
So as an arts festival, it's more, the word artisan I think is more apt, isn't it, to describe what people are going to have? I mean, certainly we're going to see painters and we're going to see other sculptors and traditional visual arts, but I think there'll be more crafts as well, right? Things that people are making.
Yeah, and actually, so this is a juried arts festival, which means that we had 150 artists apply from around the country. Our jurors selected 86. And so there was a rigorous vetting process. It's not just anybody. And we actually break the festival up into fine art and fine craft. We have a best of show and fine art, and we have a best of show and fine craft. And so basically the fine art is traditional arts, painting, sculpture, drawing, printmaking, and photography might be in there. And then the crafts would be more functional works, jewelry, ceramics, woodworking, furniture.
Are we going to see clothing?
We will see clothing, absolutely. We've got some wonderful things. There's a woman who makes these fantastic skirts, recycled, very much on the heartbeat of Durango women's fashion. So yeah.
We're not talking about an outdoor flea market here. This is a vetted bunch of very skilled people.
Absolutely. And this last week I've had probably 10 artists and craftspeople call me and say, oh, is there room? Is there room? It's like, no, we've made these decisions since April. The application process ended. So no, this is really, it's a high level of artists and craftsperson that you'll find here on 2nd Avenue this coming weekend.
Now, not to dwell on the negative, and don't call anyone out by name or specifically, but who doesn't get into this? Yeah, how you turned away almost as many people as you selected. So who didn't get in?
Well, our jurors are different every year, and the criteria that they're selecting is based on craftsmanship / technique. It is also based on originality / creativity, and then also the presentation. So are their slides professional? Could you actually see what you're looking at? What does their booth look like? We also ask for a booth slide because, like our gallery at the Arts Center always has top-notch exhibitions, we like the booth displays to be top-notch as well. So artists that didn't get in would be artists whose slides were not professional, whose booth shot looked unprofessional, whose work was somehow derivative. We don't accept anybody who's doing kit work. Everybody who's at this festival is the maker of the work. We don't allow anybody who's got workshops to be here. So when people come to the festival, they're actually meeting the maker, which is another really cool thing about the festival.
And now the rest of the street is going to have food. There, of course, will be beverage. and there will be music. We are standing right across the street
right
from
over
where the
there.
stage will be erected this weekend.
Yeah.
Again, don't expect to drive on 2nd Avenue and 8th Street. But,
or park very close.
Give us the music lineup very quick.
Well, let's see. Music starts at 10 and ends at 6 on Saturday, starts at 10 and ends on 5 on Sunday. I don't know the exact lineup, but I'll tell you who'll show up. Let's see, we have One Roof Blues, Hello Dollface, Robbie Overfield, Bacon will be here, the Dandelions, which is a women's a cappella group, Delaney Davis, who's a young singer-songwriter, the Pete Giuliani Band, who am I missing? Gosh, there's 9 groups.
It's not on the poster. And of course, the Autumn Arts Festival is a fundraiser for the Durango Arts Center. And there's a lot more happening here at the Arts Center that weekend during the festival part of it. We've got our 10-minute play festival happening. That is in the building behind me. I happen to be playing a role in that. That's why I say we. But and also opening here at the Durango Arts Center is Different Eyes. It's a great joint exhibit. Jeff and Susan Wise, as well as Margie Dudley from the Open Shutter Gallery, and it's going to be a fantastic joint exhibit of painting, sculpture, and photography. So lots happening here at the Arts Center and lots happening here on East 2nd Avenue. I want to thank Jules Masterjohn once again, Festival Director for the Durango Autumn Arts Festival, September 20th and 21st, right here on beautiful East 2nd Avenue in downtown Durango.
Come on down.
Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of Inside Durango News. We're looking for local community-produced videos to put on the station. We'd love to see what you have to offer, so send us your video for broadcast to ideas@durangotv.com. And for more about what's coming up in Durango, log on to what'shappeningdurango.com. Post your free event today and join the one-stop, easy-to-use events calendar for Durango. A special thanks to the Crossroads Building for providing this week's venue for Inside Durango News. I'm Ashley Dickson. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, keep watching. You'll like what you see.